Sure.
Alright, where? Are we on mute? Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. So you should have your chat pulled up on the side of the screen. So if you're seeing our messages, you're seeing the chat. If you can respond by introducing yourself, sharing maybe what school you go to, what position you're going after, share us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get started with who we are and start answering your questions.
Also, can everyone hear us? Yes, thumbs up. No.
Anybody can hear us? Can you type in the chat? Cool.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh,
Woo.
great.
Cool. We're just waiting like a minute for people to trickle in. And in the meantime, if you're here, say hello. Meet some of the people you'll meet on the Super Saturday. Yeah. Hey, Sunny, what's up? We met at Georgia Tech. Cool. I think we could get started. There's a decent number. Sunny says hi back. Cool. Thanks everyone for joining in. Sorry for the technical difficulty to start off with. The link was expired. Cool. All right, we have some people introducing themselves. That's perfect. So we do the webinar every year to help you guys understand better what Nextjump does, what we are, about our culture, so that you guys are super comfortable when you come in on Super Saturday and you're not super intimidated. So before we get started, we'll quickly go around the room to introduce ourselves. Shay, you want to start?
Sure. So my name is Shay. I think the microphone's over here, so I'm just going to try and scoot closer to it. My name is Shay. I am a brand partnerships associate. So I work on our business side here in New York. I am a recent graduate of Babson College, and I've been working here for about 4 or 5 months. And we're in Q4 now, and I'm doing a lot of work on the business side. So that's been good. I'm excited here to answer your questions, any that you might have in terms of culture or revenue, any of that.
Yep. My name's Jared. I'm a DevOps engineer here at Nextjump. I personally went to RIT, graduated in 2016, and came right here afterwards. So I've been here for about 2.5 years now. And yeah.
Cool. I'm Roshan. I've been here 3.5 years now. I'm a full stack developer. I'm from Columbia, studied computer science. I work on the search team. So if you have any questions regarding that or like engineering processes, happy to answer.
Hey, I'm Jimmy. So I've been here for a little over a year. I graduated from Columbia. And so I'm part of the tickets team. So I personally in charge of movie tickets for our site. And yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Chen Xi. I graduated from Cornell. I joined Nextjump in 2017, early 2017. So I've been here for 1.5 years. Before I was working on the flight tickets booking site, and then I moved to the mobile team, and now I'm building the feedback app, which you will see. There's going to be a demo during the Super Saturday in the morning.
Cool. So to get started, I'll talk a little bit about Nextjump. I think the one big thing that always stands out when we talk about Nextjump is our culture, right? That's very different to a lot of tech companies. When we mean culture, this is what I usually say at career fairs. Some of you have already heard this. When other companies mean culture, it's all the things they have. I mean, we do have all of that, but what we mean by culture is, growth, coachability, like coaching, self-growth, introspection, feedback. Those are the things that we think about. You can get feedback on your technical abilities and get coaching from a senior engineer. Not just that, if you want to become a better manager, you want to get better at public speaking. For instance, this webinar, the group here are working on certain things, to get better, and then that's why they're doing this event right now. Maybe you don't take risks, and maybe that's why you're here to speak to you guys without any practice. So that's what we mean by culture, right? So NextJump is very different when it comes to that. And engineering wise, we all work on diverse products. One thing that's different at NextJump is you get a lot of ownership. You get to work on a lot of everywhere on the stack. If you're an engineer, right, you work on the back end. You heard like Jared's in DevOps, but he will work everywhere, right? I can work on the front end one day, on the back end Solar, another day on some databases project the next. So you could be working on a whole different area of things, and you'll get a lot of responsibility at NextJump. So about Super Saturday, we can jump into Super Saturday. Super Saturday is it's a lot of fun. So if you're super stressed out, don't be. You'll get to meet a lot of new people. You will have different collaboration activities. You will have some fun interviews with some next jumpers here. You will work as teams. So you will do some presentations. So it's a lot of fun. From there, we can just open it up for everyone. If you have any questions about NextJump, what we do, happy to answer. You can start throwing them in the chat, and we will get to them one by one. And also, like, we're not going to spend a lot of time about logistics of the day of and things like that, because we've done multiple webinars in the past, and it's all there on our channel. They should answer a lot of the questions you have already. Do you guys want to add anything? Cool. So you can throw any questions you have on the chat. We will go through that. Do we have any questions yet? Who's the bold person who wants to ask the first question? Extra points. Okay. Here we go. Yeah.
Business formal.
Yeah.
Just like any interview.
Yeah. It's pretty chill.
Yeah, like what you would expect to wear at any other interview, like business formal, essentially.
Yeah, it's generally not enforced. You can be comfortable, but business formal is a safe bet, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add while people come up with some questions? Where are your Super Saturday like?
Who wants to start with that one?
Yeah. I went to a mini Thursday, so you guys probably want to answer that one. Wait, Shay had the most recent one, so let's have her
there you
answer.
go.
Sure.
Makes more sense.
So I went to the Super Saturday that we just had in March. We have Super Saturday twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. My Super Saturday was really fun, just like Roshan said. Everything that he mentioned about what to expect in terms of meeting new people, working with others in a collaborative way, and trying to meet new next jumpers through interviews, all completely true. I think it was a really great way to not only meet next jumpers, but also meet other people who were going through the interview process as well. I think a lot of times when you're interviewing, you're not really sure like who else, what your peers look like in that pool. And so this is a really unique opportunity to be able to meet other people from other schools who are just like you and have a lot of the same interests, but maybe with different backgrounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I think another thing is regardless if you get the job or not, what the feedback we've generally got is people learn a lot about themselves, right? The Super Saturday is a very long day. So you go through different activities, different groups. So you learn a lot about yourself throughout the day. So that was one enriching experience for me. And I've heard that from my friends who've gone through the process as well.
Yeah, I kept my folder from my interview. I knew regardless of whether or not I ended up getting an offer from NextJump, that was information that I really wanted to cherish and focus on and keep with me going forward. So I think either way, you'll come away with something that'll really make it a beneficial process for you as well as for us next jumpers as well, learning more about who you are.
For sure.
Cool. What is this?
Career fair.
Sure. You want to read out the question?
Oh, so I can answer this question.
Sure. So the question is, I found out that Super Saturday consists of a career fair. Should I please tell me about it? Okay.
So actually, the career fair is not for us to interview guys. That's more like an event that next jumpers working in different teams, different areas, gonna show show the content that they are working on. Like for me, I'm working on the feedback app. It's like a suite of, it's more like HR technology that has a suite of apps. So we're gonna show the different apps and tell you guys what we are working on and what's our daily life like. And if you join different teams, what are you gonna work on? So this is like for you to get to know more about us. Yeah.
I think something different that makes Nextrip really unique is we hire based on who you are as a person and how you fit with our culture, as opposed to exactly what job position you'll be doing. So the career fair is a really great opportunity to learn about all of the different positions that we have, so that you get a whole view of everything that is in front of you and every possibility that there might be, so you can kind of get a better understanding of how we all work together.
I think also like something that a lot of people struggle with is trying to understand what we do, right? So the career fair is like a great way for you to really understand what our business is, our business model is. I can give like a quick overview of like what we do. We have like 2 avenues of business. Internally, we call it Biz 1 and Biz 2. Biz 1 is our traditional business, which is our e-commerce site, right? Which is the employee perks site. That started as a coupon book in the 1990s from our founders. I think we have like tons of those coupon books right here. These are like the original books, right? And that morphed into the affiliate business. I think Jimmy didn't know that. Just that's morphed into an affiliate business and then turned into this employee perks platform. That's the Biz 1. Then the second business is our culture, the business apps, helping other companies run their culture better. So that's the second part of the business. I hope that helps, show some light into what we do. The career fair will go more into what the individual teams within those businesses are. I think you will get a flyer later tomorrow with all the teams that's going to be in the career fair, so you have a better understanding of what each of those teams do, and so you can come more prepared with any questions you have for them. So the next question is, tell me more about the product why which you try to improve the culture. Who wants to take that?
I can take it.
Sure. Yeah.
So essentially, that's what we call our Biz 2. And basically, the way that we have approached our Biz 2, it's kind of like us branching out to a second business model, right? So over the years, at Nextrip, we focused a lot internally on personal growth and development and like leadership development. And over the course of the company, we've implemented a lot of initiatives and learned a lot about how to kind of get culture right if that's what you're going after. And basically, throughout that process, we developed our own internal applications that kind of helped us, run this culture process. And really what Biz 2 is kind of us taking a lot of that and packaging it up and really offering it as a suite of applications to organizations so they can start implementing the types of initiatives that we've implemented internally to kind of, spur personal growth and development, leadership development, organizational transparency. And one of those applications that we focus on in that suite is the feedback application, like we've mentioned, and you will definitely see a demo of that on Saturday morning. We also have a couple other applications in there that kind of are more geared towards kind of like spurring the growth of learning velocity, like with our 10x application and stuff, which is essentially kind of like an automated meeting application. And it integrates right in with the feedback app. So, your peers who are there at the meeting, as well as the judges can leave you feedback on whatever you're presenting on, whether it be, a revenue project or an engineering project where you're like kind of going through a code review type of thing. So, that kind of covers some of it. I hope that helps.
Yeah, just to add one more thing, I was trying to share the link on our website. If you go to nextjump.com/HRTech2, that's the link that will show you all the apps that we have in our HR business. It won't let me share links on the chat. that should give a good idea on the different types of products we have on the HR tech side. What's the next question? Did we miss anything?
So the balance between technical and behavioral side of the day, how important is it to get everything right versus how you get to that solution?
So I probably can answer that a little bit better. I think the technical side and behaviors are both important. So in terms of the technical side, for engineers, you guys all taken HackerRank test. So it's going to be very much similar to that, but with the more topics and questions that we want to cover. And for security engineers, you guys will have another set of questions that's specific, tailored to you guys. And for business, it will be a different set of interview format. I think mostly focused on problem solving and just scenario analysis, things like that.
So just to add to that, I think we're not going to go too much into the details of the day's logistics. I'll just quickly answer the next question that's very related to that about presentations. So as I mentioned before, there will be presentations, there'll be collaboration, individual, a slew of different ways of interviews, different interviews for you guys. Hope that helps. I think we can take the next one. So what does an average day, Nextjumper day look like? Who wants to take it? I can go. An average day looks like, so you can come in whenever you want, essentially. Most people come in around 10. 9 o'clock, no one's here, essentially. Business is generally here. And then, so you come in, you do start with your engineering projects. Depending on which team you are, you might have a short scrum or a team meeting. And then you get some work done, especially Monday through Wednesday. You tend to focus more on your revenue work, which is like your core engineering job, right? Less meetings, less culture work. And then 12:30, 1 o'clock, we tend to spend, go out, get some lunch. One thing that you'll notice is when you come in, most of the employees here are friends. Like we go out to get lunch together. We hang out after work. So we usually go out, get lunch together, have like a good lunch, chill, hang out, and then go do some more work till 2:30. There's a sleep class every day. Not everyone goes to sleep. I generally use that. There's a half an hour. We call it yoga. It's yoga nidra. If you've never heard of it, it's like a yoga meditation sleep kind of class to get boosted again. Come back, do more work, and then around 5:36 on different days, there's fitness classes. There's some fitness class every day, different types of classes. For instance, we have an on-site spin studio every Thursday. Like right after this, we're going to jump into spin. Wednesdays, we have martial arts, high-intensity interval training, things like that. That's what, and people tend to do fitness and come back and do a little more work and then head out. It depends on what team you work for, because us, I'm right out of school. I'm not married yet or don't have children, so we tend to stick around, have fun, do more work. There's people with families who go early on some days, stay late on others, so it really varies. Yeah, I hope that helps. Is there any other questions? What we'll be asked to do for? Yeah, I think we answered that. Okay, so does someone want to take that? All right, with no HR department, according to information, how do more sensitive topics get handled? Is highly reliant on transparency, or is there still people for that type of thing? Who wants to take that?
I think I can.
Sure,
take
yeah,
it.
go for it. Just remember, we are all engineers. We are not HR, so we take it as we go. Yeah.
I'm a business person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So basically, we don't have like a centralized HR department. We kind of look at it more as like distributed HR, where like the core functions of like what an HR department, would do are kind of distributed throughout, different next jumpers essentially, like through these like little teams that we create. Like, so for instance, we have like a team international that focuses on specifically helping international next jumpers with, visa applications and those types of processes. And we also have a team that focuses on like, our insurance plan and our 401k and things like that. So as far as like sensitive topics and things like that go, we do rely very heavily on the sense of transparency that we have created in the office. We are very, very open with everybody here. Like it'd be impossible to be like upset here without somebody knowing. So in that sense, like things are bubbled up very, very quickly. And if there is something that's like serious that happens, it is definitely bubbled up and dealt with at a higher level, depending on what the highest level of management deems, necessary. But in summary, we really do rely on that sense of transparency within the organization. Hope that answers the question.
Right. Yeah, we do have dedicated people for payroll, insurance, and things like that. Generally, transparency is like massively important at NextJump. Every Monday we have an all hands meeting and we share everything, right? How much money we made as a company, how profitable are we? Did we make a loss? What are this management, all the decisions they made? They're usually super transparent about it, and there's no guesswork, and people generally know exactly what's going on inside the company. For like those two things that I mentioned, payroll, insurance, those things there are dedicated people. Yeah. What's the next one?
What was something that really helped you settle into the NextJump culture when you first started working at the company? Yeah, I can take this. So when you first join NextJump, you're gonna go through something called PLB, stands for Personal Leadership Bootcamp. It's a period of time that when you first started, we want you to be able to focus on growing your leadership first. So that's a time period that you try to focus figuring out your own backhand, which is something that's holding you back, preventing you from becoming a better person in the past. And you work on that. You figure out that first, and then use different culture initiatives and even some of the revenue initiative to work on yourself. And in the meanwhile, you're gonna have two next jumpers that has been here for a while to be your coach. They will coach you through the whole process so that okay, what's this journey about and how I can pass this PLB, how I can really grow myself in this period of time. And during the personal leadership bootcamp, you're working on yourself. In the meanwhile, you're also gonna be assigned into a team to really work on the revenue. So you don't need to worry about that. You're only focusing on yourself. You also have exposure to the revenue work. You start to for engineers, you start to coding, and for business associates, you start to contacting different partners, right? Yeah. So I think that's the start of NextJump. Yeah.
Everyone's super supportive too. Everyone knows that everyone's been through the same process that you're going through. So everyone's willing to share their experiences, try and help you through yours. You're partnered with another person, like Chenji mentioned, who starts with you. And so that's another person that can kind of help ease you in. And so all of that helps kind of get you integrated in the culture.
Yeah. So when you come in as PLB, Personal Leadership Bootcamp, you're also partnered with someone who's also generally new. We call them a training partner, right? Training partner is a person that you will generally work with for a long period of time, trying to understand your weaknesses, and try to identify practices. So we really believe in this training partner program as something that can really elevate you to the next level if done right? What that means is, every one of us have blind spots that we don't see, So this other person is the person who will get to know better and help you see those blind spots, right? Like, for instance, Jared and I are TPs, training partners, and we always talk about things that that's holding us back in a company, growing in a company and getting technically stronger or growing, going higher up in the company, career-wise. So those are things that we always discuss and try to figure out, to get better as a person and as a next jumper and as an engineer. So yeah, hope that helps. Yeah.
I think the most recent question also pertains
Yeah,
to
what is that?
PLB2, about how you use customer user feedback to influence your work on products.
Yeah.
So like when you first join and when you're in PLB until your first checkpoint, at least how it stands right now, it's always iterating. You spend some time working in our customer service department, and this is a really great opportunity to learn about our products, learn how customers use our website, learn how they interact with every part of our business. And you're able to take a lot of the insights that you gain from customer issues and customer experiences and implement that in your own work once you get assigned to a team. I found that to be really helpful in my first few weeks in kind of understanding some of the major problems that I might be able to attack going forward, some of the customer experiences that might be on the other side that I don't necessarily see every day.
Cool. Let's jump into the next question. What is that? Email received was from a member of the car rentals team. Which business is the car rental team part of? Car rentals team is part of our e-commerce side, which is the business, Biz One, as I mentioned before. And some of the other products we have a tickets team, which Jimmy is from. Car rentals. When I mean tickets, it's like Broadway,
sports,
yeah, right.
movies.
And then there's a huge travel category, which is our biggest revenue maker. Nina says hello. Travel, we sell flights, cars, car rentals. That's like the main travel category. Then there's what are the other categories? You want to bring them up here? Electronics. Electronics is a big one. We have exclusive pricing on like amazing brands like Samsung that's not out there, like Lenovo, Best Buy. Yeah, so those are some of the top categories on the e-commerce side of the business. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions, guys? You can feel free to throw them in. Until we get more questions, like a couple of things I want to bring up again is like the question about HR. Do we have HR, about transparency? So HR, as was brought up by Christian, from Christian, it's a very sensitive thing. That's something that most companies don't want to, people don't want to deal with, etc. Right? We use that as a practice ground, right? What that means is for instance, if I don't want to get into conversations in the HR team, that's something I will use as a practice ground, to sometimes discuss like uncomfortable truths, right? And some people are super comfortable with that, so they don't need practice on that, right? So that will be used as an avenue to get better. The Super Saturday event, right? That's a massive event. We have people 40 plus candidates, 50, almost 50 candidates flying in from all over the country, from the top schools, right? It's a lot of work and logistics. We don't have event planners to do that, right? We use engineers use that, business engineer, everyone here use that as a practice to get better at running an event like that. Maybe like, for instance, I'm not great at like attention to detail and lots of different things going on at the same time. So I use big events like that, like captaining an event like that to get better at that, like as a practice. For instance, Jimmy is captaining that event with Yutong. So we have all these different events at the company where we call it culture practices, where you use them to get better at something that you work on, and we call it a backhand at Nextrip. So looks like we don't have any more questions. We'll give it maybe a minute or so more time. If any more questions don't show up, I think we'll call it a day after. In the meantime, we have a couple of other webinars we've done in the past. You can find it on our Nextjump channel. If you have any other questions, please let us know. You should be getting more correspondence over the next tomorrow. We have the pre-event at 6:30. Tomorrow, will this webinar be recorded and shared? It should be, the webinar will be in our channel, and also the old webinars from the old webinars we've done in the past. yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach us on email. I think that's about it. Do you guys have to add anything?
We're excited to see you.
Yeah, looking forward to see you all tomorrow. I hope you guys, the people who are taking flights and buses, trains, hope you have a safe trip. Hope to see you all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you soon.